Welcome everyone on today's stream. Today we continue our discussion on Durarara. We are having fun. I'm already seeing new comments and new subscribers. Welcome. Welcome everyone. And we've hit 50 subscribers again. We did it again. Because apparently YouTube decided to unsubscribe people from me. Okay, and the only thing I want to check is, yes, last week's stream was, and today I'm not turning my other face on, so just the third point of view camera, mainly because my Minecraft decided to went nuts. Yeah, anyways, last stream we had a little bit of a connection problem, so first thing I'm gonna do is to check. Yes, we are having a nice, fine connection. We can finally spend today this wonderful, beautiful, well, it's morning for me, and it's probably very early morning for you, and I'm Steve. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have the same problem with Minecraft chunks not loading and skins. Tell me in the comments, we're gonna suffer together through this. Alright, and today's discussion. So I see the connection is good. Everything's good, and today we can talk about Masaomi. Alright, so I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do today, this wonderful cozy place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix that horrible imitation of a island wall. The wall is necessary because these animals tend to fall off, and that's just bad. And it would probably be out of this wood because this one looks nicely, and maybe I'll get lots of glass and we'll have like floors, layers of glass as well. But I think we should start with this, and it involves going to the nether. Not sure how I'll survive this. Alright, now regarding Masaomi. Yesterday, why do I keep saying yesterday's stream? It's more like it's more of a week stream. It was a week ago. So last Sunday we've been talking. I haven't been on the server for quite a while as well, actually. Okay, we've been talking about Durarara, and this is a continuation. We have Bleach going on in classes right now. It still goes until tomorrow. You can still watch through it and leave a review. But if you're late, you can still leave a review, like, it's still very comfortable. Yeah, somebody asked for eggs before, I do have them apparently. Alright, and we just had a general discussion about all the 4 main characters in Durarara, because if we remember things, and it's a quick recap for who didn't watch the thing. I didn't watch the last week's stream. Yeah, so I even have the remains of the last coffee brewing thing we've been attempting more of anything. It's so nice to have shields as well. I've been pushing myself on high. I've been pushing myself on Hypixel for a short while. So now we are having a nice time. What is this? Why do I have a bow? I prefer crossbows, but okay. Bows are also nice. Very doable. Why do I need them though? It's like I'm questioning the existence right now. Alright. Let's slowly go back to the anime. An anime I actually really like. It has a nice set of events, especially the first season is so clear. The next season is less clear, but it's all a part of a bigger message. It's all part of a big black wave that happened to the people. And yeah, I've made some changes over here. You can see the beautiful banners, the new flowers. Alright, so the part of of a new black wave that is happening to the city and is consuming everyone so much that no one is no longer in control. That's a serious thing. Let me just check this. And what happens to Masaomi? Because today's stream is dedicated to Masaomi Kida, the gang leader of the yellow scarves. And the problem is, at the end of the first season, he runs. He tries to escape. Alright, so every time we deal with the... Well, first of all, there was no real issue with his living in Ikebukuro. He had a nice, normal, ordinary life. There was nothing... they could have predicted that he would just set off, drop out of school, and run. For no actual big reason. He had no problems, but for some reason, at the end of the first city, he runs from the city as far as possible. Then the beginning of the second season, he kind of makes a good impression in chat. Like, he's happy, like everything's going good. I need to put this off. I don't ever need this. Maybe I'll need another RNX. Can I get that? But it's all a lie. My crossbows, they exist. Okay, it's all a lie. He only tries to look cool. In reality, he's very depressed and unhappy. So let's look into what happened. Running away. So we have to look first into the action and describe what it is. Running away is a matter of pride. When pride is hurt so much, at some point, something has been piling up a lot. And it all ends up I do have enough wood for this. Where am I going exactly? It all ends up in a very simple sentence. When things piled up, and then in the end you have this moment, it's enough. And a person says it is enough, there is a snap, and they run away. So, not necessarily all of these things that happen are a big thing, but the events pile up. And as they do, they eventually end up with some small events, some not necessarily big thing. That's just... Wow, why am I having this? Oh, okay. It's just a topping of a cake, if you know what I'm saying. It's just this last little thing. And I think the wall is gonna be maybe 2 blocks off. At least 1 block off. Okay, let's go in here. Yeah, this is nice. This last little thing that breaks the balance. While this is a discussion of Izaya, we actually have 2 characters who ran like that. So it would be wise to actually look into this whole discussion with Izaya, first of all, because he is the second person who runs away. He has experienced this situation. I'm gonna drown if I start talking like that. He'd experienced this situation when the city is becoming more and more wild and berserk. There is one kidnapping after another. There are way too many new players and villains in the story. And then, finally, after it's all done, there is also a crew betrayal that Izaya had. And without the crew, without every single pawn just went out of control. And in the end, Izaya was left alone. He has no family, no friends to rely on. So here I am. So, we see that it's a good example. Because Izaya is an emotionally tough character. Nothing gets through him. And one of those events wouldn't get through him. But it is a pile. It is a pile. And things that add up together, slowly but surely, can break any man. So going back... Well, also going back to the previous stream, as we talk about city having a sort of mind of its own. I don't think this is how I did it. I want things to be symmetrical. Having a mind on its own. So Izaya runs it. It's a part of a city unconsciousness, subconscious will. So the city just wants absolute chaos, and we see how everything is going towards that chaos. That's one thing. And ooh, am I? No, it's all okay. The llamas exist though. It's good. The rabbits exist. Let's get over here. Check on my secret layer. Just need to check. Okay. So we remember how it all ends up. Izaya lost everything. He ended up in a critical state, health state, when it was like 50-50 whether he would survive or not. And how many more pigs exist there? I don't wanna kill too many. At some point, you remember the conflict with the... Oh, I shouldn't have. Never mind. I have other ways to get out of here. I just wanted food, and this is how it ends. The fight with Shizuo, it was since the beginning. Simon talked about that to his end. It's in horrible Russian conversation, because as a Russian I cannot understand this conversation. It's just the pronunciation gets me so hard. Okay, we do have enough actually. It's okay. But the thing is, what Simon did tell to Izaya that day was that there is some sort of complex that Izaya has about Shizuo, and that's why they constantly fight. But the previous fighting they did, it was like all running and retreating. It was not actually that serious. Okay, it was, well, they did fight and they did seriously injure each other, but since they're both tough players, it wasn't anything big of a deal. So it seems like they fought as usual. Ooh. Uh-oh. Bottomless. There is a new mode going on here. What is Steve playing for us today? At percent, I need tons of glass. Oh, I do have. I'm gonna mine some. Alright. So Izaya has a habit of retreating, and he thinks it's absolutely normal to retreat in a battle when something goes wrong. For example, we see in the first season he was hit with a vending machine and he ran. And it looks like the same thing is happening in the second season. Like, they fought, he was seriously injured, and he retreated. But the problem is with this time, it was a matter of pride. Because he didn't just come to have another fight. He came to have a final fight, and he gave it all. So I'm constantly going back to this fight, because this is so important to the plot. It just looks like it's a side thing. But it's not. It's actually very relevant, because through this we can see it's a topping of a cake, a pile of Izaya's problems that caused him to run away from the city. And since we are studying Masaomi doing the same thing, we need to figure out what's going on. So it was a fight to death. Izaya gave his best plan to this. And for him this time, retreat would mean failure. It would mean that he lost. It wasn't this time just another battle. It was the very final battle. Alright. So there is his emotional reaction to this. It's an injured pride. And the problem is, Masaomi has the same thing. The same thing causes him to run, an injured pride. The problem is why I had to go all the way back to Izaya and discuss him. It's because Masaomi tells himself, first of all, he tells himself a bunch of lies. And that's a huge problem because we cannot see how he really feels or what he really thinks because he's not being honest even with himself. A couple of showels would be nice. Not the right thing. Why do I have 2 axes? I'm so okay. Okay. The glitches be everywhere. Okay. I have a chance to get a shovel. I always wanted. Thank you. Izaya is more honest with himself because there is no point for him to lie, and he doesn't need to tell himself fairy tales. He can be very honest, and therefore he is honest. He tells, "I don't want Shizuo standing near my deathbed," as he runs away. That's the cause for him running away. When he makes the decision to get as far away from Ikebukuro as possible, that's what he names as a reason. So it was an injured pride, and Masaomi has the same case, but he doesn't want to explain it. Therefore, at the end of the first season, he disappears without a word. I keep forgetting if I will or will not lose all my inventory if I die over here. Well, this is what not playing for 2 weeks does to you, honestly. Okay, let me address the comments. Alright, and we good. Yep, let's get back. So let's discuss the pile that Kira received and how it led to his... I'll take this. And how it led to his runaway. So the pile is not just discussing the top of the cake, this cherry on top. It's just discussing the whole pile. So we have the girl Saki, who was playing as his girlfriend, and if you remember why she did it, why she pretended to be that way, it was because... Okay, I guess my time is over. Time to... Oh no. Yay. Oh, this looks nicely. Oh my. This looks awesome. I didn't see that before. Let me put it on the sand. Can you? Well, no. Okay. Well, I tried. That's what matters. That's what... I don't need this. I don't need this. Goes not here. Ooh. So first of all, that girl Saki, she was sent in by Izaya. She and another girl. Because Izaya wanted to control the gangs. He was like, there are 2 gangs. I guess the second girl went after the blue scarves leader. And we have no idea how that ended. But he just wanted to have control over the 2 gangs, the yellow scarves and probably the blue squares. And that's why Izaya sent 2 girls to become girlfriends, and it was actually all a lie since the beginning. of such two gang leaders. So it was a nice game. The only problem is Masaomi really looked up to Izaya as a teacher and a friend, and therefore there wasn't any. You see, he wanted to establish control over Masaomi, and we're gonna get to that because that's one of the keys in the story. But the problem is he already had control because Masaomi saw him as someone he could learn from, as someone he could rely on. Therefore, he would listen to Izaya directly. He didn't need that whole girlfriend sham that happened. This is when Izaya... Well, you see, sometimes you just wish for things to happen your way. And I think I guess that was the case here. So, it could be avoided if you put enough thoughts. I'm just losing blocks here, I think I am. If it put enough thoughts into realizing it already went your way, but you know, in life it usually happens you don't get exactly how you wanted it. You get it some other way. If something good happens. There wasn't such a realization, and Saki became and continued to be Masaomi's girlfriend. Then there was the whole sham story about her being injured in a gang that crippled her and she couldn't work, and there was like a scene there that Masaomi couldn't help her and ran away. So he has this whole guilt going on from way beyond. Before the series started, he already had that guilt, and when Mikado arrives in the city and the story begins, he already lives with that for a while. Now that's the base of a pile. Oops. So there is also a gang that Masaomi has that wants for him to come back. He doesn't want, he wants to try and have a legal life. On top of that, like if that wasn't enough, he has traitors in that gang. So Masaomi thinks that he can just leave and it's gonna be fine, but the problem is he created something he cares for, the yellow scarves, I mean. And he has to be there to keep it safe, because that place is infiltrated with the blue scars, with the traitors and other scum. He doesn't want to be in the yellow scarves. Therefore, the good gang members just want him to come back because they know it's gonna be a mess. If he doesn't, it's gonna be under the blue scarves very soon, and blue scarves are quite nasty people, as we can see in the second season. So Masaomi, well, he gives up to all of them. He wants to leave the gang, but then he comes back. So he wants to be all by itself, but he really cannot let it go when the gang is in trouble. Now, he also wanted to keep Mikado and Andri, I mean, of course, but mostly his friend Mikado, out of the dark side of the city. And of course, he had another wonderful realization when they just turned out to have been on this dark side probably even longer than he has. So that's another failed hope that he thought there is a place he could run to, that he had friends he could run to. Switch his surrounding, because tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. There is that famous saying. Oh, it looks so nicely. I'm so happy, actually. I didn't know it was that easy. I'm so happy. Let's put 2 layers of glass now and see how it goes. So he thought he'll have normal school friends. And well, that was a sham too. So his attempt to save his friend Mikado from a gang was crushed by the fact that Mikado has founded one. his attempt to run away from his girlfriend Saki towards another girl, Andre, was also destroyed by the fact that Andre has her own very dark secrets. And that all is a pile. Like, we listed quite a lot of things right now. This stream is going nicely. Alright. That's what happened. And Izaya and Saki, well, Izaya really didn't think this could have had a much nicer way than he did. Yeah, but he and Saki put a lot of responsibilities for what happened to her. And I mean, Saki isn't even crippled. It's all just not true. And he has other responsibilities with his school, with his friends, and the gang that he abandoned and left. So there is another +1 to the guild there. And as I said, one thing wouldn't break him, but a pile does. And Masaomi had no friends, no family to rely on in this situation, because you see, friends, well, they turned out to be very, very tied up to the dark side as well as himself. And family wouldn't believe him if he told his parents, okay, I'm a leader of a gang. I'm gonna see how it looks like. I'm a leader of a gang, plus my best friend is also a leader of one, and a girl that we both like wields a sword of spirit. Like, nobody in their normal mind would believe that. So if he would be honest with his parents before about starting a gang, they just wouldn't allow him to actually have that gang in the first place. And now if he's gonna be honest, it's kind of too late, because no one's gonna believe him, and it just a mess through that way. So I'm thinking this is nice, but maybe three blocks of glass or 4 is also an option. So let's try that. On the other hand, he has Kyouhei and his gang, so the guy among the dollars, who's like the big brother to everyone. And he's not the most helpful because he wants Masaomi to grow up. And that's wonderful, but he wants him to grow up on his own, in a way. Well, let me look at this. Go away. Sugar is not needed here. I'm on a diet. Alright. I don't like this. Like, the 2 layers one was kind of bad but cozy, but this one is kind of unfinished. It looks unfinished to me. Well, let's try the 4 layers and see how it goes. So Kyouhei wants Kida to grow up, but he kind of wants him to do it on his own. Like, Kida has to... the thing is, Kida cannot grow up on his own, because first of all he needs advice, and he tries that advice with Kyouhei. But second of all, he also cannot change things if he wouldn't be stuck. Oh no, this is horrible. Okay. So do we go through three layers, 2 layers? Let's see. Let's put it all back. Yeah, it's not nice looking. It's not no. Okay, delete this. And Kyouhei also appeals to Masaomi's moral convictions. The problem with that is that Masaomi already feels all the guilt. He just doesn't he just doesn't know what to do. He just needs that advice. Okay, time for final comparison of this thing. Let's see. Which way is better? Final decision. Okay, so this like is very, very cozy. Oh, maybe. Maybe. Should. Let's see. Oops. Well, there goes a block. And now... Yeah, so we are losing blocks in this game, I just realized. Okay. 2 windows is very, very cozy, but this window... Yeah, we're going with 2 windows. Yeah, okay, this is good. Yeah, so Kida doesn't know what to do. Kyouhei doesn't help. Well, I'm not even gonna talk about those 2 siblings. They are completely unhelpful. And other than Kyouhei, there is only Izaya, and Kida doesn't trust Izaya in the first place, which is absolutely reasonable. Why would he do that? When Izaya first of all betrayed him, and second of all he's plotting something again. Because Izaya told him about Mikado and the dollars. So I guess it goes like this. Alright, so in the end, Masaomi tries to resolve things under his guilt. He is accepting the shame for what he's done to his girlfriend. Even though that wasn't very true. And he allows the traitors in his gang to beat him up and almost kill him. After that, he also discovers Andre. Well, Andre and Mikado discover him there, so it's also reveals his secret to his best friends and how he's the leader of the gang and everything. And after that's done, he wakes up in the hospital. And this is when Saki strikes him with news that she can actually walk. Well, Masaomi tries to lie about the fact that he knew all along. So he didn't know all along. That's like just simply not true for him. He didn't know all along, because if he did, he would have just catch her on that. He would come visit her. He was avoiding the visit. He was living with the guilt. He wouldn't have lived with the guilt over something like that if he knew that she is being a huge troll and not in a good way and trying to mess up his life and play with his feelings. He would have just revealed her lies. He would have come to the hospital freely without any fear he demonstrates in the first episodes of the first season. So it would have been all very quickly resolved. So Masaomi lies that he knew all along. In reality, it's not true. And he tries to save the last remains of his pride. And I mean, there is another thing that at some point he even tried to break up with her. Like, he tried to commit some sort of betrayal. Like, he doesn't know how to fix things with her, therefore he just broke up and left, and he tried to be that jerk who disappeared on her, but he couldn't because the guilt is so massive. and she knew that he wouldn't be able to do that. So Masaomi lies, and he knew all along. And that's how he tries to save the remains of his pride. And we know that, well, Izaya is the one who caused all this. Though, statistically speaking, I've been looking up the forums, and Saki is the one most hated person in the series. So I guess she's getting all the... Well, I think that probably because she enjoys it too much. And to be fair, Izaya had a personal gain from this. He needed to control all the gangs. He missed the opportunity. He didn't realize that it was already all done in his favor, and it's all good. And therefore he messed up. But Saki just enjoyed this whole thing, and she did it for free. Like, there was no interest in her doing so. I was surprised to see that Saki is such a hated character. Okay, let's do the polling and leave in the comments. Well, after you subscribe, of course. Leave in the comments whether you think, who do you think is the most hated character for you personally, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so this wall has been done. Goes nice and well. Well, I wish we could have more windows here. Like, it's a little bit stuck to my taste with that part not being very... Okay, let's go and fix that, I guess. So, but don't think wrong. It's like, there is an article on 91 Days when I've been discussing a 91 Days universe, but I think it also applies here, that life is fair. So there's that article on my site, tinaro.com/articles, and you can see the same thing applies here as well. So I think this is how it should look. The window, I mean. Izaya paid the price, life is fair. He put Masaomi in situation, and this is what the next material will partially be about. He paid the full price by getting into the same thing. He got into the same problem. He had to run away. So there was the absolutely same fate that Izaya got for hurting Masaomi, but Masaomi couldn't resolve things. He was hurt by so many people that even at some point he has been saying a phrase doesn't belong to him, by the way, absolutely, like, to him only. Okay, and before I do that and leak another key, yeah, let me just quickly check. Okay, so this is what he says. He says the truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the ones worth suffering for. This is Masaomi's new way of seeing things, that he doesn't expect anymore anyone at this point to be nice and kind to him. He expects betrayal at every single corner. And this is how now he perceives life. Let me get this out of the way. And done. Let's see how that looks. So before, well, as we said, Izaya will get into the same problem. Ooh, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It looks bad. It looks rather bad. Let's see. Let's fix that. But before that happened, because there was another, like, I think a year before, life leveled up the balance, justified. The balance was restored through Izaya paying the price. Before that happened, Masaomi just felt absolutely shattered and humiliated. He was like, he knew at some point that Izaya and Saki are probably laughing about how much of an idiot he is for actually loving her. So there's this. On the other hand, there is the blue squares who probably laugh at him for, well, being a leader who abandoned his gang and left everything to them. Now they control both gangs and having fun. And this could look better. It's just so sad. See if we can split this 3 by 3. Let me do the and then 2 and 2 should work. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, and he doesn't know, like, what if Mikado and Andre also laugh at him because, well, they're kind of powerful beings. At least Mikado owns a powerful gang that, apart from the yellow scars, is actually strong going. And Andre is having an amazing sword, and he's that third wheel in this whole love triangle story. So it doesn't really help either. So what does Masaomi do? He just doesn't know how to deal with life because he feels like he is being laughed at by everyone. Everyone betrayed him. That doesn't look specifically awesome, but it looks better, I guess. There's this whole mess, and he's so tangled in all the positions and roles and responsibility that he has. So finally he grabs his so-called girlfriend and he runs away with her. But that doesn't help him at all. So Masaomi kind of pretends to look happy in the chat. He feels like he's having a good, well, he pretends like he's having a good, awesome life. But in reality, we know the truth, how depressed he is. Because first of all, he didn't run away to a place where no one would know of his failures. He ran away to a place, but with a girl who knows exactly, who's first of all one of the traitors, and second of all, she knows everything. She will never see Masaomi as a hero or as a man that she can respect. And she remembers, his biggest failures, and it just doesn't work out. With her being present at the new place, there is no running away. He didn't run away at this point because she is there. Okay, this looks nicely. Let me just get some water. All right. We see that Masaomi himself understands what kind of mess he's in and that his running away isn't real. He still has the same depression. Nothing was fixed by this. We know that he understands this because in the second season we get a narrative from him finally, because all the characters, all the secondary third tier characters I know nothing about, and I really don't care about half those narratives. I don't even know who they are. The second season is the season when I cannot honestly tell who narrates the episode unless I look it up. Okay, so in the second season, Masaomi describes himself as a dropout of school and a person who has nothing to offer to the world. And that's his situation. He has no family to rely on, they wouldn't believe him. He has no friends because they expect him to solve his problems all by himself. And he's stuck with a girlfriend who doesn't love him at all. And he feels pathetic because he ran from the city like a coward, and apart from Izaya, who thinks that being a coward is an okay thing, most of the people don't think that way. So having run away, again, so he ran away from the battle when he had to protect Saki, and he ran away again from all his problems to another city, and he still, that just adds up to his depression. So what do we see? What is the final decision that Masaomi is making? He wants to rely on someone, he wants to get some help, but he realizes that his escape has done nothing, at least nothing good, towards him feeling better. That's why he thinks that if nothing has changed when he ran away, if he returns to Ikebukuro once again, maybe something will change. So he hopes to find that the answers to the whole thing. And we see that Masaomi is very interested in the answers. He wanted to learn. He just didn't have a normal teacher. Kyouhei failed because he thought that, he was ready to teach Masaomi only when Masaomi is already an adult. And that's not how the teaching goes. You don't teach people who are ready for life. You teach people who are not ready about how to live the life. So Kyouhei, he just didn't do it. That's basically the short answer. And Izaya betrayed, even though he didn't have to, but he didn't realize that on time. And I'm in need of placing the blocks back. Let's see. And so this block and the last block over there, they go back. And I think I'm out of glass. It's nice. We also see that at some point of the series, Masaomi has this phrase when he says, "One day I'll finally be able to unravel all the mysteries and finally see the life for what it really is." But the problem is with that, he wasn't able to, because you cannot do it on your own. You need to be taught. This is how life works. It's like nothing personal, but understanding life on your own is like inventing a bicycle from scratch when it's already invented. It's why would you attempt that? You can get to some truths through that, but it would be way, way, way better if you actually had a teacher, because the teacher can just immediately tell you certain things and teach you certain truths. On top of that, what's going on here? What? I have been away for like not that long, and this is what. Well, I understand that someone could have tried to escape the monsters, but what? This is beyond confusing. What have I been talking? Yeah, right, the teachers. Teachers could just immediately tell. On top of that, we as humans do not tend to have an objective view onto ourselves. It's also a thing. Like we tend to think we are awesome when something is going actually wrong. Or, on the other hand, we tend to feel like everything's bad and we are horrible when we are just actually going good and we need to keep going. So actually having a teacher by your side could actually be very, very well profitable if you measure it in that. It solves you lots of nerve cells, to be honest. Because a teacher will have that view from the side. Actually, it could be also a good friend, but who has one of those today, right? Having good friends is a new level. Is having a good friend is only possible when both you and the other person understand what friend means. And in nowadays society, it's are you the one who made this? It's hard to expect people to understand it. Are you the one who made this? I just want to know. I just want. No, I was gonna ask you. No, I was away for one MC day. Came back and it's there in just one night. Oh, I cannot type. I cannot type. I like his big costume. Anyways. Yeah, a friend could also do that, our family member. But as we said, Masaomi doesn't have those. It's interesting because actually, he has a diamond axe. A diamond one. I'm having second doubts how profitable that might be. But if you have a ton of diamonds, why not? So any plot usually has this situation when, hey, you can actually get rid of the parents because parents are a huge bother. Like, you want to have an adventure and they're just in the way. They're gonna protect the child at all costs. So get rid of the parents. And we see all the parents are gone in the this wilderness. If you think, why am I ruining the environment? That is actually because the wilderness is gonna update tomorrow, so this world is gonna be deleted forever. So just so we have an understanding. Ooh. This is not expected. Alright. Why do I have a hat? Oh, okay. Alright. Masaomi's parents are just completely clueless about... I don't want to waste this. By all means, I don't want to waste this. They're completely clueless about his son and what he does. They cannot help. Mikado's parents are more existent. I need 4 more blanks. 4. It's gonna be... But they are like very old and therefore they cannot... Well, it's a problem having kids at such a late age, is because he's a teenager and full of energy and they just don't have enough energy to control what he's doing or actually teach him something valuable. Because it's more like, you've seen those families when parents are more like grandparents. And it's also a problem because they starting to have a psychology of grandparents, so they feel more like having fun with the kids and spoiling them rather than actually be guiding them through what not to do. Why is that dangerous? So, yeah, Mikado is obviously stuck with that, and Andre's parents are gone. Going back, Masaomi has returned to Akibukuro, and he thought that maybe that will solve his problems. So, the thing is, he's stuck without the teacher, and he thinks... And actually, he tried to have some. He had tried to have some mentors. He really did his best, but he eventually gave up on everyone. And this is why this phrase I talked about, that everyone is gonna cause pain, is taking place as a lead ideology, as Masaomi learns about life and how much it hurts. In reality, first of all, not everyone is gonna hurt and betray. And if Masaomi had any serious friends or family to rely on, like, Andre is not a good friend. Well, I think it's understandable why, because she is a girl who is in the middle of a triangle, and she does not prefer Masaomi. Therefore, she just cannot be a good friend to him. Even though she says, like, we're friends. On the other hand, Mikado, well, kinda abandoned Masaomi, so it was Masaomi caring for Mikado for a huge while, and Mikado didn't pay any attention, and when they finally met, he shot his friend in the leg as a part of the KS program that was happening in the city. So Masaomi Kida comes back, and he see that the city is even more chaotic than ever before, and he is even more tangled in the events than he was. So he doesn't find that resolved just by switching locations. And this is something that Izaya actually told to Mikado at some point. Finally, it's been 55 minutes of stream, and I'm finally hungry for the first time. That's amusing. Okay. Yeah, right. What Izaya tells Mikado is that Mikado switched location, and he thought that it would solve his problems. In reality, it didn't solve his problems at all. Oh, no, okay, let's go. In reality, it didn't solve any of his problems. And Izaya kind of predicted that. He said, you're gonna start switching locations over and over, but you will get bored again and again, and there is nothing that will save you out of this boredom unless you actually start evolving. And we will cut off the next thing he said because it was stupid. Evolving and downgrading is not the same thing. Alright. Now that that's out of the way, we see that Masaomi does the same thing. I wonder why... Well, I know why, but Izaya could have told the same thing to Masaomi, and Masaomi wouldn't try to solve his problems by actually switching locations. And Masaomi realizes that. He comes back, he realized that switching location didn't help him, didn't do a thing for him, but he doesn't know what else to do. He isn't given that alternative that instead of switching location, he should do this or that or something else. What? One. Ah, okay. He is not giving any alternative. He spends the whole series looking for one and is unsuccessful. Right, this is quite a sad This is quite sad moment, actually. This experience of the character. You know, sometimes being a main character, things good. You have plot protection, right? You have, but not in this universe. And this is why I love the series. Not in the universe of Durarara, because all the characters, well, there are no like good characters and bad characters in the story. They're all people, therefore they're all flawed. They all have good stuff in them, even if they're villains. Like, for example, Kobayashi, who is, you know, playing for the villain role in the story, but also is has very warm feelings about Tanji. I think it's a good example. Oh, I can actually get rid of this. Why? Why have you? Okay, then delete all of this. I mean, it should be fine. Okay. After all of that, what have I been actually talking about? Right, we've been talking about being a main character, and all life doesn't treat you like a main character, and that's a problem. That's a problem. Life doesn't. In this is why the story is so good, because this life didn't care about Masaomi being a main character. It still went harsh on him, just like on everyone else. This is something to be expected. And I'm gonna get rid of this. That could be better. No one in the story escaped consequences for their actions. This is why the story is so good. Alright, and we're almost finished with this thing that's supposed to protect us from the unknown outside. Whatnot. Okay, one more. Yep. And we are... This is wrong. Alright. Yep. I think this is it. We have done tons of job, I think, in this stream. And let me quickly remind you that there is a 7,000 Kakera giveaway going on. And yeah, the quality of the stream is nice and good. Have no complaints. Alright, there is a 7,000. I like this. I like this so much. Look at oh, okay, we are missing this part. But let me tell you while I'm fixing this. 7,000 Kakera giveaway. If you found the phrase I typed into the chat, and it was a phrase from the anime, a phrase of one of the characters. Well, like, actually, honestly, we were talking about Masaomi the whole time, so naturally it's Masaomi's phrase. What else would it be? If you found it, you need to type it into the comments exactly as it is. Exactly as it, and the prize is yours if you are first to do that. So don't mistype any commas. Is there a comma? There is a comma. Don't mistype commas. Commas are important. Anyways. Thank you so much for watching and participating. Please subscribe. As I told you in the beginning, YouTube did unsubscribe like when we reached 50 people, and guess what it does to me? And guess what it just ruins my happiness. I was so happy We reached we reached 50 members. And this is the next thing we can fight against this. By subscribing. Subscribing is so important. Because all these videos and all this new stuff that I'm making, it can only get to if you're subscribed. It's that simple. Let me actually get rid of this too. Yay. It looks nicely, and this needs to be broken as well. And I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream. Hopefully you like this Masaomi analysis. I get it. It is quite sad analysis, because we've experienced, many of us experienced things we've done wrong, the sense of guilt. But let me tell you the good stuff. It is all fixed if you increase your knowledge about life. And this is what this channel is dedicated to so much. It is about, if you learn the science of life, if you will succeed in doing what Masaomi intended to do, to unravel the mysteries and to see the life for what it really is, seeing the things he didn't see before. If you will be able to do that, you will have a much easier existence. All this pain is happening. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Pain has two sources. I mean, inside pain. The pain of the soul. And one of them comes from the lack of understanding. And this is what we discussed today. It was the lack of understanding that caused Masaomi's pain. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is also a second one. And the second pain is a pain from understanding. But from my experience and from experience of others, I can tell you, honestly, the pain from understanding is much less, and I would say not many people would start crying and whining about why didn't I take the blue pill. It's actually a relatively rare choice, as many people can actually feel that the pain from the lack of understanding is much tougher than a pain from understanding something. And this is the end of today's stream. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, it's very important. Otherwise, how am I supposed to do my job and spread the critical thinking and understanding of life if you're not notified of it? Honestly. Alright. And don't forget the giveaway. The giveaway is real. It's happening. I'm trying to give away as much waifu support as I possibly can. Alright. See you guys next Sunday. I'm trying to stream this regularly. And I'm actually very good at it. So good at it.